to my second AMA. You'll notice a very boring background this time. Apologies for that. I'm in a call booth in the office, so I may not be able to control for all the noise, but hopefully my trusty directional mic will do a good job of focusing on my voice, not the background noise. So let's get right into it. I'm going to try and make this much shorter than last time. I think last time I got cut off by the app after 30 minutes, so definitely don't want to do that again. Let's try and do this in about 10 to 15 minutes. Just looking at the notes on my phone here. So there's been some really cool product updates that were pushed yesterday. You might have noticed if you look at the leaderboard, you'll see there's now usernames. So make sure you get your username in there so we don't just see your hash. Obviously, if you don't want to use your real name, if you don't want to, that's totally fine. Usernames are great. You can start to identify each other in the community. I also had a random suggestion, like, maybe keep the username the same as your community name so we know who you are across the different channels. So usernames have come in. That makes it a lot more interesting. There's some explainers, how, especially for new people coming in, like how the leaderboards work, how the P2E works, what the distribution is, and all that kind of stuff. And then also, you'll notice next to the names on the leaderboards that it has the current prize pool allocation. So this is what, right now as things stand, this is what you'll earn. Obviously, that will change as more people play, more people contribute to the pool, so that will go up. But also, your position is very likely to change unless your Mega Daddy U seems to win everything. So those are really cool. They seem like subtle updates, but they start to really bring the community into things and make us learn about each other a bit more, or learn that other people are in the game and get to know our community members better. Avatars are to follow on that as well. So the idea there is eventually that you will, if you've got a super rare NFT, that can be your avatar. So people can know who you are and what NFT you've got and what your NFT looks like, which I think will be pretty cool. More product updates. We have started the work on the mobile app. We're just scoping that up right now. It'll be everything that you see here, all 5 games, and we have them, and the sign up options and the leaderboard, and the ability obviously to enter the competitions, the weekly competitions. All of that will be in the mobile app, and then we'll bring out more features as we go. Lots of questions about pet store and the Tamagotchi element, or baby Doge, whatever you want to call it. We can't call it baby Doge because that's already a coin. But those will definitely come, and they will be in the app as well. But that's exciting. We started scoping mobile. We will see a step change in engagement and usage and growth when we bring everything across to mobile. In more news, you all heard about Ozan yesterday. Was the day before. Our head of gaming. He's in charge of creating games. We're also in charge of growing the games. I used to work with Ozan. He's a great guy, and he knows what he's doing. And this weekend we'll start, in a small way, our first ad campaigns. We have a very big budget for these ad campaigns, but it's prudent to start small, make sure that everything's working properly, test all the channels, blah, 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 test all your conversions. And then once everything is working well, you ramp up your spend. So that's going to start this weekend. That should start to make a big difference on the number of users, which is pretty good. I just want to address just like a general theme of concern that I get is a lot of people, obviously these people aren't gamers. A lot of people keep saying like, sure, game releases are one thing, but what about the price? These two things are not separate. If you give it a little bit more time, you will see that when we onboard users and users start playing the games, they need Tama, right? So the users become holders, right? So you understand that that's the idea, right? I know a lot of these kind of projects don't always deliver what they say, so maybe you're not used to seeing delivery in action, but this is what it's all about. And also, producing the games is delivering on the roadmap. So there's a lot of anxiety about the roadmap this week. I think when the price goes down a little bit, people start to try and find reasons as to why. Sometimes it's just the market. We do everything we can here to boost it, but the best thing we can do as a Web3 gaming ICO is to deliver on the Web3 games, and then make sure that the games are good, and then make sure that the users, and make sure that we have plenty of players. So if you really want to help the coin price go up, get playing, get engaged, enter the competitions, tell all your friends to join. We'll have a referral program at some stage. I'm talking to the guys about that at the moment. So the more you can play, the more you can get engaged, the better. And we will bring many more players in and many more holders in through our marketing campaigns. You've probably all seen my work history. I'm here, I'm visible, I'm transparent. You've probably seen my work history on LinkedIn. I have 15, 16 years of marketing experience, right? So I know how to grow these things. Now that we have good games in place, now's the right time to start growing. So that's what we're going to focus on. What's really interesting is we're starting to get some data through from the games. Players are really engaged. Some averages here. I'm just looking down at my phone every now and again just to get the correct numbers. So 500 tokens per game, per player. So each player on average has collected 500 tokens within a game. That's actually quite a lot. That's pretty impressive. They've also killed 89 enemies per player. This will obviously go up, as the games get more mature and people have been playing for longer. Each player on average enters 10 times, enters into the competitions 10 times, so pays to play 10 times, which is really good. That'll obviously increase as well. So it's looking pretty good, and I think when we start to bring in more gamers through ads and stuff like that, we'll see a lot of these numbers rocket, and we'll see a lot more wallets opened and stuff like that, which is pretty great. So that's the main update from me. So what I'm going to do now is going to keep glancing at my phone. Apologies for that, but I'm going to answer some questions from mainly from Discord. Generally, I chat now and again on Twitter. I know you guys want me to come and join Discord. We're working on that. I'm still new to the job. I've been in the role less than 2 months. So I'm just trying to be laser focused right now. And I know if I come into the social channels that I'll want to chat to everybody all day and answer all your questions. And it's just the kind of guy I am, right? So for now, I'm just keeping it super focused. And the best way for me to communicate with you right now, while we're delivering on all of our products, is to give you the video updates. But I'm here, I'm talking, I'm listening. My team tells me every day what's going on. We're very lucky to have very passionate mods on the channels, and they have a lot to tell me about every day. So don't worry, I'm listening. I am here. Here are a couple of questions. This is from Lucas on Discord. He's asking about metaverse partnerships. Would you consider teaming up with other pet-oriented partnerships like Petaverse? Yeah, absolutely. Like, the time has got to be right, though. I think what a lot of other ICO crypto projects get wrong is that they announce partnerships just because, just to try and show that things are happening, try and show a bit of movement, but the partnerships don't mean anything. They can't do anything with them. We've all heard millions of these announcements. I don't want to be that guy. I'm here to deliver. I'm here to deliver on partnerships that actually matter. Petaverse as a simple example, we can't integrate with them right now. I know Susan Cummings. I know the CEO of Petaverse. They have the same VCs as my previous company, so I know her through that. Last I checked, I don't think they're ready for the kind of integrations we're talking about, and we're also not ready because right now we have an 8-bit 2D avatar or NFT, and we'll need to do the 3D conversion, which is coming. That's a really fun product delivery thing that's coming up soon. So the answer is yes, absolutely, we'll do partnerships. We don't want to do false dawn partnerships or red herring partnerships where we're just saying stuff to push the price up for no reason. We want to do real partnerships that will bring real value and real long-term price growth. Megadaddy, Megadaddy the legend. I see you all over the leaderboards. So good work there. Will you make a player versus player multiplayer Tamadoge (Mario Kart) racing game, please? I think he's I think you're begging. Is that your tone? Yeah, I mean, if you look at the public roadmap, we've said something about battlegrounds or PvP or something like that coming later down the track. There's a few steps we need to do before we get there. We need to deliver, the first few games. Then we need to convert, everybody's NFTs to 3D. And we need to get onto the app. We need to get the pet store going, and then we can look at PvP stuff. There's a lot of interesting stuff that I'm thinking about there, and a lot of cool stuff that's going to come down the track. For example, if it was a Mario Kart style game, we kind of need different characters, right? It can't all just be a bunch of Tamadoges, running around the track. That'd be quite boring. And I was actually playing Super Mario with my kid at the arcade a few days ago, and I think it's like 10 characters, including Donkey Kong and Pac-Man and stuff like that. So maybe that's a little hint for you. That's the way I'm thinking as well. So yes, it's very possible that we'd have something like that, but more coming down the track. I think this reads Matt Heaven or Matt Even. He's got a bunch of questions for me, mainly about pretty much like roadmap anxiety. So I get it. Like, I know that a lot of roadmaps are promised and a lot of roadmaps are not delivered on. And so I get why the community gets anxious about things like that. The one key message I want to deliver, that I will deliver on the roadmap, right? The roadmap that was outlined in the ICO is a guide. It's to say, these are the things we're thinking about doing, right? These are the things that we're going to do. So me coming in and changing the order and changing the priority doesn't mean anything. It just means I'm a tech-focused, marketing-focused, delivery-focused CEO, product CEO, if you want to call it like that. And I've delivered hundreds of tech-related products throughout my very long career. And the first thing I'm going to do when I come in is look for the lowest effort with the biggest impact. And for me, that was launching the first 5 games. The next huge thing, which is bigger than anything else you're asking about in your very long question here, is to get everything onto mobile, right? Once we're on mobile, we're in a completely different space in terms of players, usage, growth, cost to grow, all of those kind of things. It's just a much better experience for everybody. So don't worry about me chopping and changing. Chopping and change is not that. I came in and I reprioritized, and that is to deliver more effectively. We have plenty people to deliver on the roadmap. I don't know why you worry that we're starting to fail on the roadmap, when all I ever talk about is the roadmap. Have you seen the link to the public roadmap, which is the one we're following now? We are delivering day in, day out. I think this anxiety creeps up when the price goes down. You start to look for reasons as to why the price goes down. But don't worry, we're on it. The reason we push back Pet Store is Pet Store doesn't work without the games. So I also think there was probably my fault when I first started and I was super busy. I put Pet Store right at the front, but then which was a mistake. I meant to not have it, nearly ready to go. So Pet Store is fine. Everything's fine. We're just prioritizing things, that make logical sense, but also make sense in terms of impact and what's the biggest thing we can deliver for the community right away. And then, while planning out the harder stuff like 3D, mobile, player versus player, all that kind of stuff. Cool. PY29P had a bunch of questions. I think I'm going to answer the first 2 in the interest of time. Can the community participate in game brainstorms? Absolutely. Like, I think this will become more interesting when we have the 3D development track. So track just means like when you start working on something, on a specific tech product. We will, put a shout out like what kind of games are you interested in terms of how the game is actually delivered. Like, leave it to the pros. We know how to do this, but like game ideas, we're totally up for that, and we'll absolutely engage. As you just heard, Mega Daddy asked for a Mario Kart type game, and I think that's the kind of input we'll start looking for from the community. And then just a question about AR with different Tama owners in a same physical space that can play together thanks to their phones. We haven't fully spec'd out what the AR is going to be. I can say my initial instinct there is that doing player versus player in AR is going to be a very heavy lift on the phone. If you think about when Pokemon Go came out a few years, and that was just basic AR, and no player versus player, so like no server load, right? When you play player versus player, there's servers involved and all that kind of stuff, and that Pokemon Go destroyed phones when it came out. So I don't know if we're there yet from a technology point of view, but there will be opportunities to talk to other owners, like maybe in the Tamaverse, and that won't be augmented reality. That would be in 3D space though. So more of like the classic metaverse applications, like the likes of Facebook or Meta have done. You have a ton of ideas, PY29P. I can't answer all those questions now, but we'll see what we can do about getting some answers for you. But like game ideas are great. That's what we're going to focus in on for the next few months. Stumfek. I don't know what that name means, but it's pretty funky. It's questioning me. Hello, John. You said in your first AMA that you don't understand why people should buy NFTs to play the games. Since then, NFT sales have completely dropped, and so on and so on. I think you misunderstood me there. What I'm saying is, people shouldn't have to pay to play a game, right? All free-to-play games understand this philosophy, and the reason games went from pay to free-to-play is because they realized that if you let more players in, you remove all the barriers for players to play your game, you'll do much better in the long run. They'll be more engaged. They'll stay around longer and actually make more money. That's the counterintuitive logic of it. This is not my view alone. Free to own, as I like to call it, I think is going to be the new standard for Web3. Everything that Web3 gets wrong right now is trying to force someone to pay $3,000 before they start playing the game. Think about it. It's crazy, right? You can buy the best games in the world for $60, $70, $80, right? So what I was saying is, I don't think people should have to pay to start playing, right? So what we're thinking about there is giving users a free NFT to start with. That gives them a sense of ownership of the game because they own a part of this game. So if you feel like you own something, you're going to stick around a lot more, just like a lot of you feel a sense of ownership of the Tamadoge coin itself, right? So you stick around, you're passionate, you ask questions. That's what we're looking for. So ownership increases. Giving people NFTs to start with increases ownership. But what it also does is he suddenly realize, oh, geez, I can make money here. If I play well, I can make money. Oh, but to make money, I would do better if I had a ultra rare NFT, because ultra rare NFTs help you within the games. They have much better attributes. They're much stronger players, right? So there's two paths that will come to improving your NFT's abilities. Either you can use your Tamagotchi to grind every day and feed it and water it and walk it and all that kind of stuff, and improve the attributes of your NFT over time. By the way, there'll be multiple NFTs in the future if you want to have different attributes for different things. Or you can just go ahead and buy ultra rare NFTs so that you can play games better, so that you can make more money, right? So what's actually going to happen is the more people that come in on the free NFTs, the more demand there's going to be for paid NFTs, which is going to increase the value of your NFT. And then obviously when we have the pet store, the resale value of your NFT, there'll be a secondary market where you can resell your NFTs if you like to. I was one of the first owners of CryptoKitties, which was one of these a similar execution many years ago, before the term NFT was a thing. And that's exactly what they did, right? You create demand, create a secondary market. The value on the secondary market is huge. That's what we're looking to do. If it comes into a bull run, you're going to see these things go through the roof. So my free to start or free to own strategy is going to create a huge demand for the limited amount of rare NFTs that there are. So everything ties in, if you think about it. Even ties into the Tamagotchi strategy. That's what I'm here to do, tie in the strategy and make it all make sense. So your username is Hank, but then you signed off Greetings George, I believe. So Hank or George, two very different names. Basically asking me about hiring how many people are working for Tamadoge? Are the finances enough for the roadmap, or is there a round of funding plan? The community sometimes doubts that it will go forward, and their capital, if they don't sell, is lost, hence the price decay. A weekly AMA at the same time each week would certainly help. So yeah, this isn't going to be my second AMA. At the moment, it's not weekly. I'm doing it every 2 weeks, but maybe I can shorten them down and do them every week. But also give me space and time to deliver, which is exactly what you're asking. In the other side of the question, just keep in mind that I'm here, I'm visible, I'm accountable, I'm talking to you guys on video all the time. How many other projects can you say that of? So like, I'm here to make a difference. So trusting me, trusting the process. We have tons of funds, right? We raised $19 million, right? So if you think about any other first round startup, and I've worked in many startups, and I flipped a startup with funding of $500,000. So we've got $19 million. Like, we have funding. I don't know where this concern or anxiety comes from. Maybe it's because I've changed the roadmap a bit to focus down on things. But these things take a while to deliver. I can deliver you a bunch of crap, and we can do that in a few months, or I can deliver you a quality thing that's actually going to work. It's actually going to change the game. It's actually going to set the standard for Web3 gaming. That's going to take a little longer. And to do that, I have to have the best people in the game. So you're asking me here about team, across the various management kind of roles. So, like marketing and all the core functions, not finance and HR that's taking care of it everywhere else, but like product, which helps determine what the game is, what the games are, and what the products are. Product, marketing, leadership, like myself and Ozan. We already have over 10 people in that very specific segment. We have a dev team of over 30 people in India, which is managed by a product team which sits in London. I'm over here with some of the team in Bristol in England, and Ozan is in Turkey. He'll be moving to London soon. So we have about 40 people on the case. We'll announce our new head of marketing next week, so you'll see all about that. And then I think we have about 8 to 10 hires out at the moment, so we're growing like crazy. There's some cool stuff coming up. I hinted to it earlier about new characters and PvP battlegrounds and all that, which will mean we'll need a lot more people. So we're hiring all the time, and we're growing like crazy. We have plenty of money to do this, and the games are already making revenue for us, right? So everything's looking pretty sharp from that point of view. What you do with that information in terms of whether you hold or not is totally up to you. I can't say whether you should or shouldn't. It's against the law. But you decide. I'm not Elon Musk. I'm not going to try and manipulate the markets. And last question from Lucas. We're already well over my target time, pushing 25 minutes here. Can you explain the collaboration between Tamadoge and Block Labs? You can think of Block Labs as our VC partners. So they've invested in the project, and they also help us sometimes with resources and connections, like all good VCs should. So they're partners of ours, but I'm running the show here. I'm the one that's setting the pace and the direction. If there's something I need help on, I can reach out to them and say, hey, what do you think about this? So it's a very good relationship that we have with Block Labs. But generally, they're comfortable with me doing what I need to do to get this right. So they just let me get on with it, which is great. Cool. I look forward to the next one. I hope that answers all your questions. This time I'm going to give you a proper goodbye because I'm under the 30-minute limit on this app. So until next time, keep holding, keep playing, keep believing in the roadmap. See you soon.